So we're here again for another QCAD tutorial. So this time we will be doing some modification tools, specifically trim and then some fillet and maybe some offset. So let's first look at our figure here. So what I have here is a rectangle and with two circles. So let's say I want to remove this portion of the line and this portion of the circle, because if we observe it, this one line here, so it's a one solid line and these are two solid circles. So to be able to do that, we have to use the modification tool, and under the modification tool we will have to use the command called trim. So there's many ways in doing trim. So you can use the divide tool, we can use the breakout segment, we can use the breakout manual, we can even use the auto trim. Let's try to use the auto trim. So when you select the auto trim icon, you will see in the command line, it will indicate here, choose line, arc, circle, or ellipse segment. So what you have to select here are the entities that you want to retain. So for instance, if I want for this part of the circle to be retained, for it to become a semicircle, I simply select that. So if I click on that, you will notice that its lower portion is trimmed out. And the reference is automatically referenced on whatever element that is being intersected with. In this particular case, it is this one line. Let's do it again. So if I select the top portion of the circle, take note that the intersection will be the circle and these 2 points, one here and this one there. So that's how the auto trim works. So another tool that we can test, the breakout segment. So if we use the breakout segment, we have to select the element that we want to remove. So if, for instance, if I want to remove this portion of the line here, I simply select that and then it will be removed based on the intersection of the semicircle or arc. So if I click that, there. So we can do it on the same side, there. Let's try to do a little bit more. This time, let's try to use the command called offset. So what it does is it basically copies an entity, and depending on the placement of your cursor, it will put that entity on that area. You select the appropriate distance here. Let's say I would select 1.5 millimeter and simply place your entity. So let's say here. So let's say I'm trying to make a window there. Then I'll change this probably 5 and do it on this side there. So and then just use the line command to close this in like this. We'll just use the trim command to trim out the excess lines. Okay, so the next thing or the next modification tool that I like to show you is the fillet and the chamfer. So for instance, let's say we want to create a fillet on the top portion of our pickup truck. One here and maybe another one here. So you simply select the round. So in QCAD they call it round, or you input the fillet radius. Let's say I select here 3 millimeter, and then on your command line you choose the first entity, let's say this one, and then you choose the second entity. And then by placing your cursor near the second entity, you will notice that it will create a preview of the round or fillet that will be created. So you click it just like that. So let's do it here on the other side. I'll do it with a little bigger radius, let's say 5, and do the same thing, first entity and then second entity there. So what about chamfer? Let's make this a bit chamfered. So what you do here is that you have to input two lengths, length 1 and length 2. So let's say I select length 10 and then length 3, and then The first entity will be for the length 1, while the second entity will be for the length 2. I simply select this one first, and then this will be the second entity. So this will be 10, and then here that will be 3. There. So that's the chamfer. Alright, so that ends this tutorial. I will see you again for the next QCAD video. Thank you.